What's up, guys? Today is our big game day show from the sports show to you guys. Olentangy Orange taking on the Gahanna Lincoln Tigers. Or Lions, sorry about that. All right, so let's start it off today. We got a little bit of interesting show today. We're going to start off with some just recap on school sports. So I'm going to start it off here with girls soccer. Starting out the season 3-2-3. They just tied Tangy 1-1, who's a team that they lost to last year both times they played. They also beat Gahanna, who Orange will be playing obviously today, and we seem to be dominating them in all facets of sports. They beat them 3-0. But the team looks a lot better this year. They had a little bit of struggle with injuries last year, but they seem to have picked it up. The senior captains this year are elite. This team looks elite, especially on that offense. They're scoring goals in dozens, and you just love to see it. This girls soccer team going to the playoffs. I have high aspirations for them. Still plenty of season to go, but looking pretty good to start.
And now moving into boys soccer, 2-4-1 to start the year. Obviously not living up to what they expected, but still are going to get rolling. Beat Gahanna 2-1, which obviously, again, as you said, Orange is beating them in all facets. A huge win for momentum against Franklin Heights yesterday, 12-0, which is just an absolute destruction of Franklin Heights. Lots of players getting in there and scoring for the Nears, and just an overall great momentum builder.
Yeah, and now we're going to move on to girls golf, who has had a phenomenal season, winning OCC. Amelia Butner, winning OCC Player of the Year. What a phenomenal season this girls golf team had. Multiple great players, and a lot of them aren't even seniors. A lot of them are juniors and sophomore and even freshmen. So this team looks like it's going to be good, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Yep, and then moving into field hockey, 4-3 to start the year. Winning record, obviously last year they were teetering right around 500, so to get ahead of that and then hopefully keep rolling the rest of the year is going to be great for them.
Yep, and then we got girls tennis. Had a decent season last year. This year's been a little bit harder of a season, but they're playing decently. They did beat Olentangy, if I'm not mistaken. They swept them 3-0 in the set, but so they're winding down on their season, kind of the midway point, and trying to make a push towards the playoffs here.
And then looking over to cross country, they've had a lot of meets so far. I don't believe the whole team has won a meet so far, but on the boys' side, Cohen Allender is great. I believe has placed top 5 or top 7 in all of his meets. Obviously, Brooke Chapman on the girls has been elite and is staying that way this year.
Yeah, 4 years of dominance, including this year in track and cross country. And to finish it off, boys golf. The best player this year, on Wednesday, was Josh Lambert. He shot a 77, so obviously very solid, along with Ari Zavarillo playing pretty well, the senior. So boys golf looking pretty solid this year too.
Yep, and then now let's get into our college football pick'ems. So
we got some great games Saturday. The first game, or college game day, the real college game day, is going to be in Knoxville, Georgia, taking on the Volunteers. This is a game that I've been stewing over. You like that one? Stewing? Yeah, so this is going to be a tough game for Georgia, in my opinion. Barely beating Austin Peay. I don't even know who Austin is. I don't know who Austin Peay is. It's some SCS school, but it's only 28-6. 28-6, Georgia. In Athens. It's unbelievable that they could only score 28 points. They got stuffed on the 1-yard line. 4th down and goal. They went for it, did not get it. I'm not impressed by this Georgia team. Gunnar Stockton had to throw the ball 34 times. If Julian Sain was playing Austin Peay, and he threw the ball 34 times, it'd be 18 gazillion points. Give me the Volunteers to win in Knoxville.
Yeah, but I'm going to agree with you here, taking Tennessee. Obviously, Georgia not looking great last week, but, Kirby Smart's always going to have the guys ready to go. Georgia's always going to be a good team. There's no denying that, but I definitely don't think they're looking as great this year as they have in past years, so I'll take the Volunteers as well.
You heard it here, folks. Take Tennessee. All right, next we got Miami at home in Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Dolphins. Carson Beck, new elite defense, taking on the little old team a little farther south, USF, University of South Florida, the Bulls, the big dogs, taking on Miami, the Hurricanes. And let me tell you something about a bull. It's an animal that can weather conditions that most people could not stand in, and that includes hurricane weather. Give me the Bulls to upset Miami after beating Florida. I'm going USF. Put them in the top 10. Rank them as high as you can. That's all I'm saying. I'm telling you, Carson Beck will fumble under pressure. He is not the quarterback that everyone says he is. He is a fraud, a fraudulent man. All right? Lock him up for how fraudulent he is. This will be shown tomorrow. USF's going to beat Miami.
I love the pick, but I'm going to have to go the other way to Miami. I just can't doubt against this team. Some great wins to start the season. USF, obviously, also some amazing wins, but I just don't see USF being able to get it done against Miami in Hard Rock.
All right, I guess we'll see about that one, but just know the Bulls will be winning that one. All right, then Texas A&M taking on my future alma mater, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, taking on the Aggies. Texas A&M is constantly overhyped, I feel. Notre Dame is another team that I feel like a lot of time football, because of the storied history with Tim Brown, elite receivers, last year Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love, phenomenal players, Morgan Freeman. So this is going to be a good game, I think. Last year, this was a great game, defensive showdown in A&M, where Notre Dame was able to pull out the win. Is their best win of the season, in my opinion, up until Penn State in the playoffs. But regular season, it was really good. Cowbells will not be ringing in South Bend. I'm going the Irish to win that one there.
Yep, I'm going to go with Notre Dame too. I think the main factor in this game is Jeremiah Love. Obviously, the first week against Miami, he was not utilized as much as he should for how good people believe he is. I think they're going to more lean into him this week against a really good school, realizing their mistakes from last week, and I think Notre Dame takes this one.
And finally, Ohio State, the Ohio State University, the Buckeyes, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. Obviously, a lot of people care about this game. A lot of people around here like both teams. I know a lot of people are rooting for both teams, mostly rooting for Ohio to cover, as you are. I'm going Ohio State, though. I think they'll handily win. This team looks elite. Ohio looks pretty solid. With the West Virginia win was phenomenal. Parker Navarro is an elite quarterback. I'm going to go Ohio State, though. I'm going to this game. So are you. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Night game, in the shoe, helmet. That's what, like, what was it, that thing? The helmet? Like, you have to wear all gray if you're on the sides, on the student section. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that works. That could be awesome or really weird. The bands are going to play together. These honestly doesn't feel like a rivalry at all. This feels like a bunch of brothers, meeting up and just having a good old time. That's what it feels like with Ohio State versus Ohio. But give me the Buckeyes to win, and hopefully the bands put on a great performance. Cannot wait to see it.
Well, I love Ohio, but I'll tell you why this game doesn't seem like much of a rivalry. Ohio State's the number one team in the country, and OU lost to Rutgers. They're just not on the same planes on the actual football field. But I do think OU is very underrated. Parker Navarro obviously coming back for another year. He's amazing. I was at the OU West Virginia game. Great energy. Record attendance at OU Stadium. I believe it was Pitt in 2021 was their old record. The energy was insane, but I can't bet against the Buckeyes.
All right, and now speaking of this game, there's a bunch of band stuff going on, and we got a package explaining it.
Hey Pioneers, today we're going to be taking a look at the OSU and OU joint halftime performance and look at Orange traveling to OSU for the Skull Session.
My first drill I wrote for Ohio University was in 2005, and basically I had asked for the program and kind of learned how to use it, and the director asked me, I was a sophomore in college, going into my junior year, and he asked me to help out writing a new pregame show for the band. This whole year I've kind of had this idea, mindset of kind of writing for two bands, even for our own band. Like the first show we wrote this year with the Orange and Blue show was kind of the same concept of writing for two different kind of uniforms, two different visual elements, right? So with OU and OSU, I wrote the second movement of the four-part show. So there's a first movement that Dr. Hook wrote, and I'm the director of Ohio State. I wrote the second movement to a song called What Is Hip. And then got them into the dance block. They're going to do a dance together, which will be pretty cool, and then do the final movement later on. Ohio University uses squad-based drill. Ohio State uses row-based drill. Similar in some ways, but also a little bit different. So the challenge was making sure the right drill that was achievable by both groups, despite the differences in styles, but also visually interesting. So we will be performing pretty much everything we have in our repertoire for the season. We get to play for about 45 minutes before Ohio State comes in. Skull Session doors open at 4 o'clock, and when the crowd comes in, we start playing. And we basically are the opening band basically for the Ohio State band when they come in. And we'll play one of our traditional songs we play all the time. It's really our song. It's called Kids. Kids Aren't All Right by the Offspring. And we'll play that for our special song. Yeah.
That's all for today, Pioneers. Now, back to the desk.
All right, now let's transition into our high school football, the thing you've all been waiting for. But before we get to the big game, We got 2 0-3 teams in Olentangy struggling after pretty solid seasons the past couple of years, especially, solid's an understatement for Liberty last year. As much as we don't like Liberty that much, they did win the state championship last year. But they've lost a lot of players, obviously, and are not the same team as last year. Berlin also struggling, had a terrible loss against DeSales. As I spoke for the past 2 weeks, was a horrible call, we all know.
Yep.
I'm going to go here for this first game. It's tough. I think both these teams are struggling a little bit, aren't the best, but I am going to go Berlin. I think they're a little bit more consistent. Liberty's been absolutely, throttled around by a lot of teams. So especially like the Olentangy game, which Olentangy didn't impress me that much against Orange. Orange decimated them. Obviously, comparing Orange to the other Olentangy schools is clearly not the fair comparison this season so far, knock on wood. So I'm going to go Berlin, the Bears, to gobble up the Liberty Patriots.
Yep, and I'm going to take Berlin too. Liberty, obviously last year, lots of seniors on that championship team, and I just don't think they're going to be able to recover this year. I think they're going to have a pretty bad – I think they still get 1 or 2 wins, but this is not – I don't think this is going to be a good year for either team. I'm taking the Bears also.
All right, and before we get into the big game, look right here where my hand is holding this beautiful QR code right here. Make sure this is where we're going to be doing the live sport calling. If you aren't able to make it out to the game, make sure to scan this, watch the game, and if you don't want to watch it, then be here and be loud, roll Nears. All right, now speaking of the Nears, the Pioneers taking on the Lions of Gahanna Lincoln, a team that beat Orange last year, one of their few losses of the regular season. I'm so excited for this one. I think you got great quarterback play on both sides, but one man sticks out to me. Among the pack, among the herds of sheep, there's a wolf. And that wolf's name is Levi Davis. What a phenomenal player he is. If you heard my call when he ran for that 20-yard play, called it his Heisman moment, and I'm not understating it. With how college football's been looking this year, I honestly think Levi Davis should be the front runner for the Heisman this year. Orange is not going to lose this game. I would bet my buckle that they win this game. My pick is the Pioneers decimating, hunting down the Lion, and finishing it off. Give me the Pioneers to win.
Yep, I'm going to agree with that pick. But Orange this year, one of the best defense, really one of the best teams we've seen in Orange history, outscoring opponents 126-14.
Woo! That's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. Gahanna this year 2-1. Beat Liberty only by 6 this year, I believe, 20-14. Liberty has not looked great. They also have a loss to Pick Central, 45-14. I also agree with you that Levi Davis is going to be the factor, but I also think this defense is going to be a factor. I don't see Gahanna scoring more than 10 points. And obviously last year, Gahanna beat the Pioneers, one of the most disappointing games I've seen from Orange. Gahanna is a good team, but they're not going to be good enough for the Nears. So, with that, give me the Olentangy Orange Pioneers beat the Lions.
Love the pick. Love the pick. Woo! I'm so excited for tonight. It's going to be me and Zach Howard, the legendary color announcer, going to be calling the game tonight. It's going to be a huge group of people working on this one. There's going to be so many people on the sidelines. I'm so excited for this one. And with that, let's hear from our leaders, and I'll finish it off for today's show.
Hey Pioneers!
We have a home game tonight against Gahanna Lincoln at 7 p.m.
The tailgate will be at 5:30 and will walk out at 6:15. Freshmen and sophomores, make sure you're being extra loud.
The theme is Hawaiian. There's going to be a lot of water bottles being thrown. Make sure you pick up your trash.
If you're a senior in the front row, you better be loud or you're moving back up.
Only Orange students in the student section. As always, be there, be loud,
Roll Nears!